Hello, today I will be discussing on design of members subjected to axial load and bending. Bending stress will develop and tensile stress due to bending has to be taken care if the bending moment is extra, means additional to tensile forces is developed. Now when it develops basically when connection is eccentric, it induces moment. This is one case. Another case is if members are not perfectly straight and when the load does not pass through the centroid of the member. Another case is if member is not lying vertical, self weight will be producing bending stresses, right. Now how to analyze and design when the member is subjected to axial tension and say uniaxial moment. Now moment, there are two scope, means one is axial tension and moment in one direction, another is moment in two direction along with the axial tension. That means axial tension along with biaxial moment. So both the cases we will see. Now if the member is subjected to axial tension and moment, then we can write the stresses developed as P by A due to axial tension and M by I into Y due to the moment. Now if the moment is in x direction, then mxx by ixx into y we can make it. Now if the section is like this and moment is providing like this, then we can find out the stresses like this. So here you see not only axial means not only the stresses due to bending moment is coming, not only tension but also compression. So this is tension, this is compression, right. Now so basically in case of axial force and moment, the stress will be P by A plus minus M by I into Y. Now minus we are not considering because minus is basically because of compression. Now minus we are not considering because if minus we consider, it will become reduced. So if we design in terms of P by A, it can withstand P by A minus M by I into Y also. But we have to see the worst case. Worst case when it will come, when both the stresses are going to be add, when both the stresses are going to add. In that case what will happen? P by A plus M by I into Y. So we will be focusing our analysis and design only on the addition part, that plus M by I into Y, not minus M by I. If minus come into picture, it is going to reduce, or if M by I into Y is more than P by A, then it is going to be compression member. No more it will become tension member. So that also we have to check whether it is tension member or compression member. Now here only we will focus on tension related things because we are now focusing our study into the tensile forces, tensile member design we are studying. That is why we will see only these aspects. Okay. Now if we see the stress developed due to tension, force and the moment, that sigma is equal to P by A. What is A is net cross sectional area. Remember, it is net cross sectional area, not the gross cross sectional area. And Ixx is the moment of inertia about x axis, and accordingly Mxx is the moment about x axis, and y is the distance, means the the outermost distance, in fact the extreme distance. Okay. Now we can write the net cross sectional area, which is A, can be written as AA and AB, where AA is the area required due to the axial force and AB is the area required due to the bending moment. Okay. So AA is basically P by sigma AT, where sigma AT is the permissible stress in axial tension. So permissible stress, in fact we know that is become generally 0.6 Fy. So if Fy is the characteristic value of the tensile, means steel, then we can find out the sigma AT value. In case of mild steel, this will become 250 as we have seen earlier. Okay. Similarly, sigma Bt is the permissible stress in bending, which can be written as 0.66 Fy, right. And so A we are getting P by sigma AT, and AB area due to bending moment can be written that Mxx y by r square by sigma bt, right. This will be the area which is required for the moment. Okay. So AA plus AB we can write as this. Now if we divide the A, means A is equal to, we are writing P by sigma AT plus mxxy by sigma bt by r square. Okay. This is the things we have written. Now if we divide by A, what will happen? P by A means A by A is equal to P by A plus mxx into y by a r square by sigma bt. Okay. That means 1 means this should be P by A by sigma AT plus mxx y by a r square by sigma bt. Okay. That means the the summation of these two should not be greater than 1. Okay. So now P by A is nothing but the axial stress, means axial tensile stress, which is can be denoted as sigma AT calculated. That means the developed stress due to axial force. So sigma AT cal by sigma AT we can write, plus now this I can write as sigma bt cal, because this is what my by ar square, which is nothing but the calculated bending stress, that is sigma bt calculated, and this is the permissible stress. Okay. So this should be less than or equal to 1 to be in safer side. Now this is what, this I can write as 0.6 fy, and this can be replaced by 0.66 fy. Okay. So final equation will become sigma AT calculated by 0.6 fy plus sigma bt calculated by 0.66 fy should be less than or equal to 1. Now when the section is subjected to axial tension and biaxial moment, what will happen? So sigma can be written as P by A plus mxx by ixx into y plus myy by iyy into x, right. So similarly I can write, means P by A is basically sigma AT calculated, and from the earlier equations, means in this way if I want to write, this will become P by A by sigma AT by sigma AT plus mxx y by ar square by sigma bt x plus myy x by ar square by sigma bt y should be less than 1. So this will become again sigma AT, this is becoming basically 0.6 fy, and this is 0.66 fy, and this is also sigma bty also will become 0.66 fy. So the finally equations can be written in this form. That means what we are getting, that the stress whatever is generating due to biaxial moment, if we make equilibrium, then we are going to get this condition as we have derived in earlier cases for uniaxial moment. Okay. Now this can be written as sigma AT cal, and this can be written as sigma btx calculated, and this can be written as sigma bty calculated. Okay. So now if we put these values as 0.6 fy and 0.66 fy, because sigma btx and sigma bty is nothing but same because of the material, steel material we are taking. So this condition has to be satisfied. So these are the two conditions we have to satisfy. For uniaxial moment we have to satisfy this condition, and for biaxial moment we have to satisfy this condition, right. Now let us go to the design. So how to design of the section. Now in this case first we have to go for a trial section, because we do not know which section we have to go, we have only the load and moment. So through iteration we have to find out a suitable section. So one way we can make that equivalent axial load we can find out. A trial section needs to be assumed corresponding to equivalent axial load. So that equivalent axial load can be written from this: PE is equal to P is the axial tension plus M by I into Y. This is the stress due to moment, into A will become force. That means equivalent force because of presence of moment. So this is becoming P plus, if I make, MA by I into Y. So I by Y is nothing but the Z. So P plus M into A by Z, or I can write PE is equal to P plus M into BF, where BF is called as bending factor. Okay. So bending factor is nothing but A by Z, where A is the area of the section and Z is the section modulus. Okay. So if the member properties we know, if we know the particular section, then we know A by Z, then we can find out what is the equivalent load, axial load due to axial tension and due to moment. So in this way we can find out. Now this is for the uniaxial moment. Now in case of biaxial moment, what will happen? In case of biaxial moment, in similar way we can write that P is equal to PE is equal to P plus MXX into BFX plus MYY into BFY, where BFX is the bending factor of section about x axis, which will be A by Z axis, and BFY is bending factor of section about x axis, which will be A by ZYY. This will be y axis, right? Bending factor about y axis. So if we know BFX and BFY, because if the section is known, then all the other sectional properties can be found out. So from that we can easily find out the equivalent axial force due to axial tension and moment. Okay. Now we will see the design steps, means if the members is subjected to axial tension and bending, then how to start for the design. So what we can do, in fact the things can be done in different way as per the convenient by the designer. He can start, and finally he has to check this equation, that sigma AT cal by 0.6 Fy plus sigma BTX cal by 0.6 Fy 66 Fy plus sigma BTY cal by 0.66 Fy, which will be less than or equal to 1. So finally the designer has to check this equation whether it is okay or not. If it is not okay, it has to increase, the section has to increase. Okay. Now how to start, it depends on the user, means the designer how he will start. One way we can start is that first we can find out an equivalent axial tension PE and permissible value of stress, means from permissible value of stress and from the equivalent tension which has been find out from the earlier equation, we can find out net cross sectional area which is required. Okay. So what we will do first, in first step, that PE we will find out, PE is equal to P plus M, which is given here, no, M into BF, sorry, M into BF, BFX or BFY, it depends on type of moment. Okay. Or BF means A by Z. So the equivalent axial tension first we can find out, and from that value and from the permissible value of stress one can find out the net cross sectional area. Net cross sectional area can be find out from this equation, PE by sigma AT. Okay. Then we can choose a suitable section with an allowance for rivet diameter. Okay. 20 to 40% additional area may be provided for the rivet holes. So, gross area can be made as 1.2 to 1.4 times of area net. So, gross area of the section can be found as 1.2 to 1.4 times of the net area, okay, because deduction of hole will be there. So, we have to take care. So, in this way we can make. In other way also we can make. Simply we can find out A net is equal to P by sigma AT, where P is the axial tension. So, from that we can increase certain percentage, maybe more than 40%, then we can start, right. Then what we will do? Now we have to find out the net area. Net area means after deduction of hole and other things, what is the net area available in the section. So, find the net area available in the selected section by making deduction for rivet holes, okay, and the following deductions may be done at this preliminary stage. So, some conventional things has been given, which I have discussed in earlier lecture also, that for single or double angle pair, one rivet hole from each angle can be deducted, okay, and for 4 angles forming box type, means if the angles are like this, which is forming box type, 2 rivet holes from each angle can be deducted, and for plates and flats, 1 rivet hole from 15 centimeter width can be deducted. So, these are the some means guidelines through which we can deduct the appropriate holes, means appropriate area from the gross area. Now, in case of double channel, 1 rivet hole from each flange or 2 rivet hole from each channel can be deducted. So, with these provisions we can find out the available net area after deducting the hole due to presence of the rivets and bolts. Then in step 5 what we will do? Then the trial section will be suitable if the available net area is greater than or equal to the net area required, means available area, net area, if it is larger than the net area required, then it is okay. Otherwise, a higher section has to be chosen and has to repeat step 3 till the suitable section is obtained, okay. So, if this condition does not satisfy, then we have to choose a higher section and we have to again repeat the step 3, in fact step 3 and 4 till the suitable section is obtained. Then what we will do? Then we will find out the actual tensile stress, sigma AT calculated, which will become P by A net, because P is the axial force. So, sigma AT, the axial stress, will become P by A net. So, actual tensile stress we can calculate. Similarly, we can calculate the developed bending stress, stress due to bending, sigma BT calculated, which is m by I into y or my by AR square, right. So, for a particular section we know what is I value or A and R square value, means radius of gyration. So, we can, and y is also known. So, we can find out the sigma BT calculated, okay. And for biaxial bending we have to calculate 2 type of stresses, sigma BT x calculated and sigma BT y calculated, right. Sigma BT x will be mxx by ixx into y and sigma BT y calculated will be myi by iii into x. So, now we have to check the following condition. This is one condition for uniaxial moment, that is sigma AT calculated by 0.6 Fy plus sigma BT calculated by 0.66 Fy, which should be less than or equal to 1, which we have discussed earlier. Similarly, for biaxial bending we have to check this relation. What is this? That is sigma AT calculated by 0.6 Fy plus sigma BTX calculated by 0.66 Fy plus sigma BTY calculated by 0.66 Fy, which should be less than or equal to 1. So, now if it is satisfied, then the section is okay, and if it is not satisfied, then you have to increase the section size accordingly, right. Now at this starting point, what section we will consider, it depends on the experience of the designer. Okay. Now if we consider, say suppose more than the required, then one can choose. Suppose this value is coming, after calculating all this value is coming, say 0.4, that means it is much less than 1.0. In this case what we can do, we can reduce the section size and again we can check in similar way, means it has to become closer to 1 to get economic design. Unnecessarily we should not waste the material, right. If we choose a larger section, always it will be safer side, but wasting the material means not it is economic in terms of cost, right. So we have to think in that way also. And if this becomes more than 1, then we have to, in any case we have to increase to satisfy this, to make the section safe, right. Now with this discussions, it will be easier if we go through one example, then we will see how to design and what are the aspects we have to consider, and then we will understand how simple it is to design a axial member, means a member having axial force as well as bending. Okay. Question is, a 3 millimeter long member is carrying an axial tensile force of 300 kilonewton. So force is 300 kilonewton and is also a UDL of 5 kilonewton meter. That means if the length is like this, then a UDL of 5 kilonewton per meter is also there, including self weight throughout its length. Design the member using angle section. Design the member using angle section. So this length is 3 meter, UDL load is given, right, and this force is also, axial force is given, this P is equal to 300 kilonewton. Now we do not know the support condition here. So let us assume the simply supported condition, then we can find out the maximum moment which is developing at the middle will be WL square by 8, right. So let us design with the upper value, that means WL square by 8, which is the maximum. So if we consider WL square by 8, this will become 5 into 3 square by 8, right. So we can find out the value as 5.625 kilonewton meter, right. So the moment is coming 5.625 kilonewton meter. Now approximate area. So first we have to find out some approximate area. Say this will become P by sigma AT. Okay. So this will be, the load is 300 kilonewton, sigma AT will be 150. So this is coming 2000 millimeter square, right. Now let us increase 40% of area, right. If we increase 40% extra, then A gross will become, say 1.4 into 2000. So this is becoming 2800 millimeter square. So with this area, now we have to find out a suitable section, right. Now from handbook of SP6 we can find out a suitable section of, say ISA 150 by 150 by 10, in which the area is becoming 2903 millimeter square, right. So we have to find an appropriate section in which the area will be closer to this but more than this. Okay. So considering this aspect, we are getting a section of 150 by 150 by 10, right? And from the table of SP6 we are getting corresponding value of Z as 56.9 centimeter cube, that means 56.9 into millimeter cube, okay, and area is 2903 millimeter square, okay. So we can now find out the value of PE. PE will be P plus M into A by Z. So if we put the values of P and M by and M and A and Z, we will get PE is equal to P is 300, M is 5.625 kilonewton meter. So if I make millimeter 10 cube into 2903 by 56.9 into 10 cube, right. So equivalent load we are going to get as 587 kilonewton, right, because you see first we have not considered, means we have not calculated P, because unless we know the A and Z we will not be able to find out the equivalent load. So first our objective is to start with, we will consider some net, means some gross area. After finding out the net area considering only tensile force, then we are going to get the gross area, and from that we are finding out some appropriate section. After finding out appropriate section, we will find out the equivalent load, and then again we can find out an approximate section. Now from here net will be PE by sigma 80, that means 587 by 150, that means net area required will be 3913 millimeter square, right. So from equivalent load we are seeing that we need an area of 3913 millimeter square net area, that means gross area will be required. Gross means because of deduction of hole etc. we have to increase little, so maybe 20% we can increase. So if we increase this, we are this is getting 4696 millimeter square, okay. So gross area we are going to get. So with this now we have to find out a suitable section again, because the earlier section will not be able to take care that much load, okay. So let use say 2 ISA 130 by 130 by 10, right. 2 angle sections we are going to use, then area with this angle section will become 2 into 2506, that is 5012. So in place of 4696 we are using 5012 as a gross area with the use of 2 angle section of 130 by 130 by 10, right. Now we have to find out the net area. So A net area will become 2 into, this is the area, gross area, and we have to reduce the hole, because of hole we have to reduce the area, right, and 2 angle, that is why we have multiplied with 2. So this is becoming 4582 millimeter square. This 21.5 is the gross hole diameter using 25 power driven shop rivet. Let us use 25 power driven shop rivet, then gross diameter will become 21.5 millimeter, right. So the area is becoming 4582 millimeter square, right. Now we can find out sigma 80 calculated, because now we know the net area. So sigma 80 calculated will become the area we have 4582 millimeter square, load is 300 into 10 cube. So if we make this is becoming 65.5 MPa, load by area, right. Similarly sigma BT calculated, here only uniaxial moment we are considering, only one direction moment is. So this will become m by I into y, or m by z we can write, So m is 5.625 into 10 to the 6. This is the moment, and z will become 2 into 42.7 into 10 cube. This is the z which is given in the code. So from this the value is coming 65.9 MPa. So bending stress due to moment is coming 65.9 MPa. This is the maximum stress developing due to bending, considering y as maximum, right. So we have sigma at calculated and sigma bt calculated, right. Now the permissible value of sigma at we know, that is 0.6 Fy, that is 0.6 into 250 is 150 MPa, and permissible value of sigma bt bending stress, that will be 0.66 Fy. So if we calculate this, this will become 165 MPa. Okay. Now we have to check whether this is okay or not. That is sigma at calculated by sigma at plus sigma bt calculated by sigma bt should be less than or equal to 1. So if you see, now what is sigma at? Sigma at calculated we have, that is 65.5 MPa. So 65.5 by sigma at value is 150 permissible stress, and sigma bt calculated is 65.9 MPa. So 65.9 by 165, or if I calculate this, this is coming 0.84, which is less than or equal to 1. That means this value is coming less than 1. That means the section is okay. That means the section whatever you have considered is completely okay. Now to make more economic, we can reduce the size of the section one step below, then you can check whether it is okay or not, right. Otherwise you can go for this section whichever we have considered, right. So in this way, if we consider this one, we can say that use 2 ISA 130 by 130 by 10 mm angle, double angle of 130 by 130 by 10. So using this we can make it, right. Now we will go another thing, that is design of built up tension member, right. As we have discussed at the very beginning, that if the load is very high, or from architectural point of view, sometimes we have to go for built up sections. Why we go for built up sections? Mainly because of large magnitude of the load which cannot be carried by the single section. Available single section is not able to carry that much load. In that case, a suitable arrangement of built up section is required. As we discussed earlier, that arrangement can be made in different way. Say channel type of section, 2 channel has been placed back to back, or 2 channel section has been placed front to front, like this. 4 angles has been provided like this, it can be made. 4 angles provided oriented in this way also, this is another built up section. So in different way we can make the built up section. Now I will discuss about how to design a built up section, and before that also I like to just go through, means inform you that when we are going for a built up section, the calculation is tedious. That means if a single angle or single section is considered, then all the properties of that section is given in the SP6 handbook, SP6 1964. In this handbook, all the required properties, sectional properties of different sections have been given. But if built up sections are done, then similar properties has to be find out manually, means you have to calculate. Suppose if it is like this, then we have to find out what is the Ixx value, what is Iyy value, then Rxx, Ryy, Rxx minimum, Ryy minimum, sorry R minimum, okay, and other details has to be find out, which is tedious. Then again, suppose design means, in case of tension member design we have seen that it is a iterative process. We have to start with some certain assumptions, then we have to go with that section, then we have to check whether it is okay or not. If it is not okay, we have to go for another higher section and we have to calculate again all the things, and if it is okay then fine, or if we want to make economic, then again we have to reduce the section to make it optimize. Okay. So in this way, what we will see that we need lot of calculations in between, which is very tedious and laborious. That is why if we can make certain software, then we can use the software to find out the sectional properties of that. In fact, while teaching our students, we have developed some sort of software with the help of students. In different way, you can also find out some software either from the internet or you can make some software at your own to use for this type of built up section. So in this case, if we see in this software, say here one combo box is there where you can select different type of section, where I section, channel section, or angle section, whatever sections you want you can, and grade of steel also you can choose from this. Then when you are putting the particular I section, you will get all the values here, right? Area and BF, TF, TW, whatever you want you can find out. Then you have the option here, you can put additional members, like suppose a I section is there, right? Now you want say ISMB 200 is there. Now because of heavy load in the member, you want some extra area in terms of plate, so you can provide some plate here. Okay. Then if you provide plate, what will be the equivalent sectional properties? That can be find out from this software. Or you can provide some angle also here, not only plate, some angle also you can provide. Then what will be the properties? That also you can find out from this, right? So all the equivalent sectional properties will be displayed here. So once you make the program properly, in fact you can do at your own by the use of C++ program or by Java program you can make, and then you can find out the details of the sectional properties here. So once you make it, it is very easy to use and it will be comprehensive, and you can find out the economic, the best one which will fit to carry that much load, right? So now if we see here, you see we have chosen I section of ISLB 150, then automatically it is giving the values of this, okay, means the sectional properties of this whichever is given in the SP6 has been given here also in IS, means in this software, right? Then you have the option whether it is single section or double section, so accordingly you can find out the values. Suppose we are going for double section, then you see it has option that with top cover plate, with bottom cover plate. So bottom cover plate thickness and width has been given, top cover plate thickness and width has been given, okay. Also if you want channel to be added with that, channel also you can use by giving tick mark in the box, then you will get the results here. You see results has been printed here, okay. What is the results? That ISMB 300 whatever we have clicked here, with those along with the plate, additional plate, what are the moment of inertia, what are the radius of gyration, what are the equivalent area, all the sectional properties has been displayed here. So from this fraction of second you can find out all the details and then you can find out. Okay. Similarly, for channel section also we have seen, if channel section is there, what is the individual sectional properties of that particular channel ISMC 300, that has been displayed here. Now if you put say top cover, bottom cover, or if you put another channel, say channel section is there, right. Now if you put another channel here, okay. Now what will be the properties of this equivalent, means whole section, that has been displayed here. This is given ISMC 300 and this plate is given ISJC 100. This top, at the top one channel also has been placed. So in this way we can find out. So all the possible things we can, here it is showing the angle section, the individual properties of a particular angle. This is 100 by 75 by 110, the properties has been shown here. Now whether it is double angle or means double angle long leg back to back or short leg back to back or star angle, you have to define and you have to give the spacing. Then accordingly if you accept, you will get the value. So these are some idea I am giving you so that you can start making a program accordingly and you can use at your own. However, you can contact me through email so that I can give you this software also if you need, right. So this is T section. Again, in case of T section we are providing some top cover plate and with some particular width and thickness, then we can find out the equivalent section, right. So in this way you can make it. Now we will go for a design of a built up tension member. Why we are going for designing? We will see how to design it, and here also we will see what is the difficulty of calculating all this. Very difficult to calculate all those things. Okay. So if we can find out some software like whatever I am showing, it will be very easy to calculate and to find out all the details. Now question is that a 9 meter long member is carrying an axial tension of 1100 kilonewton. Only ISMC 250 at 30.4 kg per meter channel section is available. Design the section with channel facing front to front each other, assuming that the sections are weakened by one rivet hole only on each flange. Okay. The assumption is that only one rivet has been used in the flange. Okay. So the net area can be calculated accordingly. Okay. So question is that P is given, which is 1100 kilonewton, and section size is given ISMC 250, right, and the rivet are placed one rivet in each flange. Okay. So for designing what we will do first? First we will do the net area, how much it is required, we have to calculate. So net area is required P by sigma 80. So from this 7333 millimeter square we are getting. Okay. So this is the net area we need to provide. Now what we will do? So from SP6 1964, that the handbook, for ISMC 250 the following properties, sectional properties are given which can be used. These are the properties. What are those? That area, cross sectional area is 3867 millimeter square, width is 80 mm, thickness of flange is 14.1 mm, thickness of wave is 7.1 mm, moment of inertia in x direction 3816.8 into 10 to the 4 millimeter to the 4, IYY is 219.1 into 10 to the 4 millimeter to the 4, RXX is 99.4 millimeter, CYY is 23 millimeter and G is 45 millimeter. These are all the details which will be required for our design. which has been given in the SP6. Okay. Now, using 20 mm diameter of power driven shaft rivets, and because of the required area is 7333, we need to provide 2 channels, because area of channel is this is 3867. So, if we provide 2 channels, the total area will be 7734, right. Now, assuming the rivets are placed in stagger to get maximum net area, so deduction of 2 rivets will be required to find the net area. So, we are using the maximum efficiency, means we are distributing the rivet in a stagger way, so that maximum strength can be found. Okay. So, net area can be found gross area minus area of rivet holes minus 0.5 into wave area as per the Codal provision. So, net area provided is 7734, which is found here, and 2 rivet hole. So, 2 into rivet diameter is 21.5 and thickness is 14.1, thickness means this flange thickness 14.1. Okay. So, minus 0.5 into wave area will be 250 minus 2 into 14.1, 14.1 is the thickness, into the thickness of the wave, that is 7.1, okay, into 2, because 2 channels are used. So, this will become 5553 millimeter square, which is less than 733 millimeter square. So, if we provide 2 channel, this is also not sufficient to take care that much load, because this is not safe, okay. And we have been given that particular channel, that is ISMC 250 channel is available only, okay. So, what we have to do? We have to go for additional plate. What is the extra area is required? That is 7333 minus 5553, which is becoming 1780 millimeter square, 1780 millimeter square. So, extra area of 1780 millimeter square has to be provided in the form of plate, additional plate, right. So, we have to provide some plate. So, we are providing plate here, okay, say of 250 by 8 millimeter plate we are providing, okay. Now, if we provide this plate, then net area can be found, because rivet joint has to be made, and if we make rivet here, then we will see that 250 into 8 minus 21.5 into 8, this will be becoming net area, which is greater than the required one. So, it is okay. So, providing this much plate is sufficient to take care the load. Now, we have to go for the checking of slenderness ratio. What we have seen so far, that we can use a plate of 250 by 8 with channel section placed like this, which can take the required amount of load which has been decided. But again the thing is, we have to check the slenderness ratio, right. So, for checking slenderness ratio, what we have to do? That we have to place in this way, okay. Then we will find out RXX or RYY. Now, channel sections has to place in such a way that RXS will become RYY for maximum efficiency, means RXS and RYY will if become same, then we can find out this will be the optimum orientation. That means RXX equal to RYY means IXS has to become IYY, right. So, we have to find out IXX and IYY, and if we can make equal, we can find out the value of S, the distance between 2 channel. So, distance between 2 channel has to be placed in such a way that IXX become IYY, right. So, if we make this, so for finding IXX and IYY, first we have to find out the Y. Y means the center of, means CG distance from top. Okay, if this is y, then let us find out the y value, and x value will be the just simply half of s. Okay, so x value we can find out, it is at the center of these two. So, and this is the CG of individual, this is the CG of individual channel. So, x is, we are denoting distance between CG of one channel to the CG of the whole section. Okay. Now, y we can find out now, y will become what? Now, if we take moment about this, moment area about this face, then what will happen? Y into total area will become this into this area plus this into channel area plus this into channel area. So, that is what we are making here, right. This is the total area, 2 into this area is the individual area, and this is the plate area, 2 into 3867 plus 250 into 8, right, and this is the channel area, 2 into channel area into half of the distance plus thickness of the plate, 250 by 2 plus 8, because this is 8 and this will be 250 by 2, the CG distance of individual member. Okay. So, from this, and this is the plate, 250 into 8 into half of 8. So, we are getting y as 106.5 millimeter, right. Similarly, so y we have to need to calculate for getting the value of IYY and IXX. Now, I can find out IYY and IXX, right. So, IYY if I make, IYY means about this. Okay. So, individual moment of inertia into AR square to shift this, that means AR square means R will be X. Okay. Individual moment of inertia into A into X square for this plus BD cube by 12 of this plate. So, individual moment of inertia plus A into R square is nothing but S by 2 minus this CG distance 23. If plate is the channel is this is 23, okay, and this is S by 2. Okay. So, S by 2 minus 23 AR square plus BD cube by 12 for the plate. Okay. This is IYY, and IXX will be similarly, IXX will be IXX about its own axis plus A into R square. R will be 125 plus 8 where the CG is placing minus this Y plus the plate, right, plates at its own axis, then AR square. Okay. Now, if we make equal of IYY and IXX, we will get value of S as 260 mm, right. So, we are going to get the value, that means hence provide channels with a spacing of 260 millimeter as shown in the figure. So, figure means this one, so this will become 260 millimeter, right. So, what we will do now? Now, let provide the additional plate as 280 by 8 millimeter. Okay. Then what will happen? Total area will become 280 by 8 into this, which is becoming this one. Then Y is becoming this one. Similar way, and IXX I can find out as this. Okay. IXX I can find out. So, what we are seeing here, that lot of calculations we have to go for to find out the sectional properties. However, this calculation can be omitted if we have the software, if we have the programming things. Okay. So, now we will find out the RXX, which is nothing but IXX by A or IYY by A. Okay. So, this is becoming IXX by A is becoming 103.4 radius of gyration. Okay. And the slenderness ratio is nothing but L by RXX. So, length is given 9 meter and radius of gyration is 103.4. So this is becoming 87, which is less than 180. As per the codal provision, if it is less than 180, it is okay. So from the slenderness ratio point of view also, the assumed section is okay to take care that much load, right. So this is fine. Now the tie plate. Tie plate means we have two channels, we have given some plate, now we are giving some tie plate, right. Now effective depth of tie plate will become how much? 280 minus 2 into CYY, right. This is the distance, CYY distance, this is 23. So 280 we have considered, here we have considered 280 mm plate width. So 280 minus 2 into 23, so effective depth will become 234 millimeter. Therefore the overall depth will become 234 plus 2 into edge distance. Now edge distance is 29 millimeter for 20 mm diameter of rivet. From the codal provisions, we can find out the minimum edge distance for 20 mm diameter of rivet as 29 millimeter. Okay. So overall depth will become effective depth plus 2 into edge distance. So after calculating this, we are going to get 292 millimeter, right. So what we will do now? So length of tie will be, can be made as spacing of channels, which was calculated as 260 millimeter, right. So length of tie can be found as 260 millimeter, means basically we are providing as spacing, right. And thickness of tie plate, will be 260 minus 2 into 45 by 45, right, which will become 3.8 millimeter. Okay. Hence we can provide some plate thickness, means this is the tie plate thickness you can make, however we are providing 8 millimeter with some standard plate thickness. So thus we can provide plate as 292 by 260 into 8 millimeter. Okay. 292 we are getting here overall depth, and 260 is the length and 8 millimeter as spacing. So tie plate will be 292 into 260 into 8. So with this, means this is the way to calculate the built up sections, sectional properties and the design procedures. Now I think we have some idea about designing of tension members. In last 4 lectures we have discussed about details of the tension members, starting from the connections of the tension members to the tension member with only axial tensile force, tension member with axial tensile force and bending moment, and also some additional members like gusset plate, lug angle and tension plices. So with all this, I like to conclude this lecture, design of tension members as a whole. Thank you.